na tinak dhin dhage 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 na tinak dhin.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Morid and porridge. Kids get their money on phone it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah. We got the goods. Good of them assets, good of my bag. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We on the smash now. Be prepared to hit the gas, yeah.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Drive.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Woo. That's my child. Woo.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the higher, yeah. Sharing no vodka from Virginia, yeah.
I know I'm more because I'm blessed. I know I'm more. I passed the test.
We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Drive.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Woo. That's my child. Woo.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, yeah, we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the higher, yeah.
Not tonight. I don't wanna fuss and fight. I just wanna make it right. Ooh, there's work to do. I wanna get you close to you. I wanna get you with all the things you want to do. Just relax and I'll say yeah. Anytime you want me, I'm saying that I love you every day, and I know like you love me, baby, if you feel it.
Black leaves in the Mississippi River. Black leaves in the Mississippi fire. Black leaves in the Mississippi choir. Black leaves on the Mississippi land. And we've got garden cotton, we've got sons and daughters, we've got grit and glory, we've got mama stories, we've got strength like towers, we've got hope and power.
God made woman with an iron hand, raised her up on heaven's land. God made woman with an iron hand, raised her up on heaven's land.
Strength like towers, we've got hope and power.
God made woman with an iron hand, raised her up on heaven's land.
could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Esther Lusty. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
Videos before the election. One of the videos said I was going to vote for Kamala Harris. The other video said I was going to vote for Donald Trump. And I just wanted to see the mixed reactions from people and how people would react, because I do a lot of work from my hometown, do a lot of work from my community. I work with young boys. And I never said who I was voting for. But I made those two videos because I wanted to show people how they are in reality. I made the Donald Trump video and I made the Kamala Harris video. Under the Kamala Harris video, you definitely had some Trump supporters like, well, we understand that you may have a different opinion or whatever, but we still support what you do. Maybe you'll wake up one day, etc., etc. You know, things like that. It wasn't nothing vile, wasn't no bad comments or nothing. I made the Donald Trump video. I got people that unfollowed me. I got people saying they can't support nothing I do no more. I got folk calling me all types of names, etc., etc. But what's crazy is all of the Kamala Harris supporters have become what they accuse Trump supporters of being. When you say you support Donald Trump, y'all be ready to kill him. Y'all ready to burn him at the stake. You calling them all types of names. You're unfollowing them. You don't care what they're doing for their community, nothing. If you support Trump, F you, I hate you so much, etc., etc. But all the people under the post, all the Trump supporters, when I said I was going to vote for Kamala, it was all love anyway. They was like, well, we still support what you're doing. We still going to donate. We still love the work, even though you don't have to support Donald Trump, etc., etc. So I've only received hate from the people that call themselves the tolerant side, the side that's supposed to be about love, the side that's supposed to that's not about hate. But it's crazy because anytime somebody doesn't agree with you, all you spew is hate. All you give is hate. So it's funny how everybody who calls themselves Democrats, you have turned into what you accuse the Republicans of being.
Just do it Nike.
Peace to the party. It's your homeboy back again with the news. And you know we had to touch bases, man. We got to talk about it. The topic of the day is idol worshiping destroying the black community? And what brought me to this title for the news today is election is gone, right? The results have been tallied. A lot of other information is coming out that we're going to touch today that's specific to our community. But we got to start with this discussion about what these numbers say about the participating voters in this election and what it really says about the community. And so basically, the numbers say 90% of black women and almost 80% of black men voted Democrat as far as the president. All right. So today I'm going to use this news segment to prove how idol worshiping even put us in that position to vote that way. And then secondly, the greater effect that it's been having on me, you, everybody else who's been lumped into this classification known as black. We're going to talk about how this is really one of the main components used to our detriment. And it's so obvious at this point. That's why it's damn near comical that you got people trying to buck this as if this is not a thing. But we're going to put all that to bed, man. But the first thing we're going to do is the news been coming out about what Kamala and them spent the money on for their campaign. Peace to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all checking in. Tell a friend, tell them pull up. So like I say, Kamala, the numbers is coming out on who she paid because, you know, all of this is public information when it's tied to the campaign. So, you know, we got a list of a few people that we going to talk about to build this whole news segment out for. But I want y'all to hear some of the details first, and then we're going to get to the conversation. So shout out to Pink Book Les because she always does good videos, compiling the stats and the news clips. So let's take it to the other side. Well, let's take the other side. Shout out to this sister. We're going to take it to her video clip, watch this real quick, and then we're going to come chop it up.
Of this election. She's good at raising money and she's good at blowing it. But money can't buy you elections, especially when you spend it like she did. She raked in more than $1 billion and is somehow now in debt. The Washington Examiner dug through her financial statements and gave us a good clue why. Kamala's campaign was getting whacked like a piñata while D.C. leeches hoovered up all the cash. She spent over $50 million on payroll. Trump's campaign spent less than 10. Another 12 million went to consultants, and 20 million went to their little concerts with Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Christina Aguilera, John Bon Jovi, remember him? They even had to cancel a performance by Alanis Morissette because they were running low on cash. Isn't that ironic? Campaign insiders are mad at the bosses for wasting donor money on concerts instead of ads about, you know, the economy. Quote, they said they were spending to zero. I guess they overshot zero. Ads would have gone a lot further than the pricey celebrity endorsements. One campaign source said people were concerned about their own financial issues, not Oprah telling them America won't exist. But it worked out nicely for Oprah. She got her friend Kamala to pay her $1 million to interview her in September. $1 million. Now, if she thought she was saving democracy, she should have done it for free. Kamala scared donors by calling Trump a dictator, got $1 billion, then just gave it to her friends and blew the rest on being a diva. Kamala went on a podcast, remember Call Her Daddy? But she didn't want to go to their studio in LA. So she made the host fly to DC and used campaign cash to build a fake set in a hotel room. She spent more than $100,000 to build it. That set, see it? 2 chairs, a coffee table, and
Now think about what they just said on this, because we broke this down. Remember, for those of y'all who've been rocking with us, we touched on this Call Her Daddy podcast, which was egregious. It's basically a sex and relationship podcast. This is where she chose to go talk to the viewers. And then it wasn't genuine, obviously, because she paid for this. So you paid this lady, who knows, that they disclosed how much she was paid, but just for the set alone, she paid $100,000. Now look at this set, y'all. What's special about this that it needed to be $100,000? Like, even if you don't know nothing about construction or production or any of that, $100,000 for this little small, little intimate setting is egregious, bro. Just trust me on this.
the bookshelf. That's 6 figures. Now, we looked at the set. We probably could have done it for around $6,000. That's without labor. But where'd the rest of the money go? We don't know. So she's still trying to soak folks for cash. 24 hours after the election, on Wednesday, Democrats got a text from the campaign. Urgent. We need help. Donate now. Help with what? You lost. This is how she's going to spend her donors' dollars. Imagine what she would have done with our taxes.
This is such a gross failure. All this money, $1 billion? Kamala's campaign got all of this money and they managed to spend it all, $20 million in debt. I don't know, maybe she should take a look at that refund policy with those celebrities. Who knows, maybe they'll give her money back for all those high-priced endorsements that didn't influence anybody.
Hello? I don't know what to tell you, Barack. I have no idea where the money went, right? $20 million? Can you tell Beyonce to give me a call back? She can also just wire me. You know, technically she should pay me back. I didn't even perform. This Offset? Oh, I thought you guys broke up. Can I talk to Cardi for a second? Hey, girl. Yeah, listen. So here's the thing. You know, help me get elected, and you said you would. So I think that, you know, you should unburden that and give me my money back. Don't hang up on me.
So Kamala Harris' campaign is in $20 million in the hole. This is after the campaign had raised over $1 billion. And y'all out here having all of these temper tantrums, cutting off your hair, no sex, no kids, no marriage for a woman that couldn't even manage her own campaign funds. Now just imagine if she would have been president and how she would have managed taxpayers' money. We saw how y'all was so proud in raising all of this money earlier this summer for her campaign, breaking records. Y'all were bragging about it all over the social media platforms, just for her to just squander it all away.
Remember the first week of the campaign? Every blog and news outlet reported how black women got on a call and raised over $1 million for Kamala. Then the next day, black men got on the call and they raised over $1 million for Kamala too, quicker. Yet black people can't come together to fund hospitals, grocery stores, banks, clean up our neighborhoods. No, we can't do any of that collectively for the black community. But they proudly got behind an Indian woman and gave her a couple of $1 million just like that. Don't care about our own black children. Don't care about black men and women, but had the Brinks truck pull up on an Indian Irish woman. That's embarrassing, by the way, and at some point, we're gonna have to address that. It's not the look y'all thought it was. And no, it wasn't black celebrities. You have mostly everyday black men and women and the middle class giving their money away to this Indian lady.
I think we know where all of that money went. It was a lot of celebrities that came out and showed out for her for some money. They was getting paid. So apparently a lot of vendors haven't been paid just yet because they ain't got no money. And while there's a civil war that is erupting in the Democratic Party right now, they've been blaming one another for the loss of Kamala Harris. They've been blaming Biden, Pelosi. Obama pretty much is, got on a jet. Nobody knows where he's at. Hasn't said anything. These people still want their money to get paid. So instead, Trump tweets out how we ended our campaign with plenty of money, so we'll foot the bill of Kamala Harris' campaign. But y'all say he's a racist. So instead of y'all wasting all of y'all energy over here and doing all this crazy stuff, why don't y'all step in for the little guy, since y'all say that this is, the party of the working class people and the party of the little guy. That's what y'all say the Democrats are. And ask these celebrities that she has given all this money to perform for y'all or do a 4-minute speech for y'all, give the money back to the campaign so that they can pay the little guys. Why don't you do that? Go troll the celebrities.
So Kamala Harris's campaign is now $20 million in debt, even though she raised $1 billion. This is a person who completely outperformed her opponent month over month in terms of what she raised. Forbes even said that she outperformed him by 5-1 when it came to last minute donors. But her campaign, even though they raised $1 billion, her campaign is now $20 million in debt.
That's right, Kamala outperformed Trump and Biden in fundraising. It was definitely a lot of bragging going on about how much money she raised and how fast she did it, but let me tell you how it happened. The billionaires picked Kamala as the candidate, not we the people. Yeah, it was the billionaires who installed Kamala like a toilet with no votes, no primary. They wanted Biden out, so they pushed George Clooney out there as the face, then used a bunch of politicians from California to second the motion, while they withheld their money from Biden and vowed not to give him any money. Pelosi, by the way, was behind this, but it's really the billionaires who made the decision. They had the money ready to go, they just didn't want to give it to Biden. So as soon as they successfully threw Biden out, they came in and deposited all the money into the Democrat bank, Kamala's campaign to be exact. So all the 8, 9, 10-figure investments came from those billionaires, and they're the ones who came up with most of the money. And let me tell you what's so diabolical about this. This lady talks about how she was going to help Americans buy homes. Meanwhile, she had the whole BlackRock in her pocket. Yeah, she had BlackRock
and we're going to speak about that in a second.
Executives advising her. We're talking about the same corporation and the people in that corporation behind purchasing thousands of homes in the Atlanta metro. About 20,000 homes in the metro controlled by these folks associated with BlackRock. But yeah, all the BlackRock guys, they backed Kamala. And that's also not a good look when these folks are suffocating everyday Americans out of home ownership. These are the folks she had advising her. And no, the Shade Room didn't report that. Roland Martin.
Of course they did. And here's why, right? So let's get to this. Shout out to the sister once again, Pink Book Lessons. Always does a good job breaking down current news from a woman's perspective, what I think is very important. Because right now, boy, we at war. A lot of people don't like to, use them type of terms, but we are at a war for our mind within our own community. And those of us who understand the history understand why we are targeted the most. And election time is always one of the biggest examples of how this all tied together. So let's talk some numbers right now, right? So let's talk for real. All right. So they say Beyonce got 10 million. They say Megan Thee Stallion got 5 million. Lizzo got 2.3 million. And Oprah got 1 million. They got Eminem in there too, but we're going to focus on these. So you mean to tell me, now y'all tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm tripping. So right now, I believe so much in the cause that I believe in, that not only do I show up and don't get paid for it, I got to pay money out to do what I'm doing before y'all right now. This costs. Okay. That's how much I believe in it. I'm taking time away from my own endeavors, from my own family, shit I could be doing to enrich myself to come talk about something I really believe in. Okay. So if you believe, as these black entertainers was trying to tell us, that this boy Trump is Hitler, that he finna come put us into slavery, that he finna take away all women's rights, he finna do all these things, why would you, a well-off individual, need any type of payment to show up and speak on the person's behalf who you think finna save you? Tell me what sense that made. So this is how they playing with us. But then you see that some of the highest payouts when it comes to individual entertainers is going to a black celebrity. Why is that? Because they knew that the target audience that they was looking for would bite on that. And the numbers say 90% of black women voted in the interest of the Democratic Party. So it looked like the marketing, because think about it. When you go get Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion, you're not going to get men. You're not going to get black men, white men, Asian men, those type of men. You looking for women, and in particular black women, because it was a black women empowerment type situation. The only real white woman they had of power from their side was Lady Gaga, but she, not Lady Gaga and what's the other one? Be at all the games with the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all know Taylor Swift. You hear what I'm saying? The point that I'm trying to make is, if you believe in this so thoroughly, why does a fee have to come with it? You see Oprah come out in the news saying that, well, I didn't take a personal fee, but my crew had to get paid. You know what I'm saying? This is all a game they playing with us because you know how this looks to say that you receive money from this to do that BS production they put together. But this is because they know that that machine that they crafted, they talked about BlackRock, they talked about all these other major donors that came out of nowhere once she started running, and they just came up with this a crazy amount of money in no time to go on and spend that bread. So hold on, let's see. Bro say the rich trying to stay rich, trying to avoid this potential wealth shift that's likely to occur within the next couple of years now. I mean, yeah, me personally, I feel like it's a two different sects of government battling right now. All right, you got the guard that want to keep the over government, they want to keep business as usual. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Kamala campaign was a prime example of what a lot of people dislike about big government: overspending, careless spending. Like think about what I'm saying. They had $1 billion. They say Trump only had 300 some million. So his 300 some million beat over $1 billion worth of spending. What was they spending money on? You get what I'm saying? Because we covered almost everything that happened that was major during that election cycle. Without no bias involved, the boy Trump was on the road damn near every day, bro. It's video to prove this. You know what I'm saying? So what was she doing? How come the things that Trump had going on, he ain't have to pay these people? Because why would you not want the president-elect to come on your platform? You're going to get millions of views. The problem was Kamala wasn't getting no millions of views. I think one of her most popular ones, it may have just gotten to 1 million. Meanwhile, Trump got videos that's in the 30, 40, 50 plus million range, multiple videos. Clearly, somebody wanted to hear what he had to say. So I just want to point out how this is the tie right here. They paid the black entertainers because they knew that would sway the vote within the black community. And it did. Right now today, anybody who publicly sided with Trump, you're going to get called a sellout. You're going to get called everything under the sun, bro. And none of it's going to be positive. If you say it in front of your family, you're going to be ostracized. These just the facts. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but you just heard at the beginning of the video, I played King Randall. He did an experiment on his Instagram. He did one video acting like he was going to vote for Kamala, another video acting like he was going to vote for Trump, just to see the response out of people, bro. And everybody that's not thinking with an emotional view or idol worshiping and analyzing the facts for themselves can realize, hold on, bro, it's a major difference between both sides that we are being told is different within the media, but we just know in real life that shit cap, bro. It just is what it is. So I'm gonna go deeper, right? So we done laid the whole foundation. The black entertainers getting paid to give us a message that they really didn't believe in. That's why money had to be involved. Okay. So then I want to play some, shout out to the boy, Dr. Umar. A lot of the stuff I don't agree with when it comes to the Pan-African side, but I can't lie and say that his grasp of American history, especially current, is pretty spot on. All right. So check this out. Hold on, bro. This had a good, he say, I teach middle school. Even the students were supporting Miss Harris. That's how you know the celebrity is more important than the message. That's spot on, bro. And then COVID say the black churches, fraternity, and sororities, and all of these people, black churches, the pastor is like he a celebrity in his town. If you a big dog black preacher, you the man in your city. All right. And a lot of these are associated with fraternities and sororities, but we finna nail them all to the cross. So Dr. Umar, back to what I was saying, when the 50 years of hip hop came out, he had a message. And I wholeheartedly agree with this message, but I want y'all to hear it to refresh y'all memory. Hold on.
Celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That's the big theme right now all over the country, all over the world. 50th anniversary of hip hop. We only got 60 days left in 2023. Do you mean to tell me we're going to let this year-long celebration go by and nobody's going to have a serious conversation about whether hip hop has actually been a benefit or not to the black community? I haven't seen a conversation, a YouTube, a town hall meeting, a BET special. I don't see anybody talking about the ramifications the negative impact that hip hop has had on the black community. Now, the first thing the hip hop artist is going to say, I'm only rapping what I live, but you don't live it no more. The minute you start making money, you moved out the neighborhood. So why you still rapping about drugs and death when you don't live around that no more? That means you're a hypocrite. If you're telling me you're rapping what you live, you don't live it no more. And if you're so dedicated to telling the ghetto tale, why did you move out the neighborhood? Why do you send your kids to private schools? So you live in a white neighborhood, you send your kids to white private schools, you moved out the black ghetto the minute you had enough money to do so, but yet you're telling me the reason you're still rapping about death, drugs, jail, and homicide is because that's the life you live. You don't live it no more. So for me, I'm looking at hip hop and I'm saying to myself, it is the most influential music genre in the world. 50 years, a multi-billion-dollar industry. And in 50 years, the hip hop community hasn't built a single relevant institution for the black community anywhere. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. Look, Dr. King began his career with the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. Dr. King was assassinated in 1968. That means Dr. King had 13 years. Look at what he did in 13 years. Let's go to the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party was founded in 1966. The revolutionary phase of the Black Panther Party was pretty much over with by 1971. That's 5 or 6 years. And look what the Panthers did in 5 or 6 years. Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, showed up in New York in 1916. He's deported in 1927. 11 years. Hip hop has been around for 50 years. Not a single hospital, not a single school, not a single bank, not a single supermarket, not a single distribution company. How can we call hip hop a blessing to the black community when that type of money being made off of our culture and the community doesn't benefit from it at all? So you come to the community and give out a few turkeys. You come to the community and give out a few pair of sneakers. You come to the community and you throw a couple parties. And in exchange for some damn turkeys and chickens and some sneakers, you push death and destruction on our children for a living. And we're supposed to be okay with that because you dropped off some clothes and some turkeys. It's not acceptable. Until hip hop begins to be a blessing for the black community, hip hop is an agent of white supremacy.
So Buddy was spitting. I'm telling you right now, if you disagree with what this man was saying, please tell me in the chat how. Let's think logically now. I'm from Louisiana, y'all know, grew up in this game, all right? Then did these things that these rappers be talking about, all right? Was in the music industry. I fight with the inner me every day to go against the stuff that I've been conditioned to know and like. That's just me being 100% honest with you. But I can sit here and I got to look myself in the mirror and I got to be able to keep it real. And the reality of this is the music industry as we currently know it. I'm not saying the people who make the music because they just merely pawns. However, they got some accountability to take in this as well. And this is what we got to get to, all right? Because at the end of the day, how in the world we going to use this as a direct comparison to what just happened? So you had the fees and Megan Thee Stallion and all these people can help. If you can get all these men, women and men to come help raise money for already rich individuals within the Democratic Party to help them run for office with no plan for us, no benefit for the black man or the black woman, and we can help them raise all this money, but we can't do it for our own cities right now. Why we don't have them same type of fundraising events where we go, hey, you know what? We're going to take care of Chicago this year. Next year, we're going to do Detroit. The year after that, we're going to do another black city and so on and so forth. Led from the people with the influence, the LeBron Jameses, the Megan Thee Stallions, the Beyoncés. They won't come together to do any of this for the community they say they love, that they want to rep and all this other shit. but they got time and energy and money for other people. Think about what I'm saying now. So whole time that really should be a slap in the face. They playing with us because because the people, the excuse that a lot of that we give the entertainers is, well, they ain't got to be worried about us. They got their own life. But come election time, all of a sudden they worried about us. They willing to put in time and resources. But whole time they getting paid to do this. They help them raise funds, but won't do it for the people they say they really care about. Now, if y'all know the truth about the hip hop game, it started from the revolution. It started from the grassroots, right? Working with the man and with them people was always against the inner core of what hip hop was built upon. So to go from that to what we see it to be as today, to where these boys and these women really just show puppets to do whatever they are told to do, is no free thought in it. And if you do bring in free thought, you get ostracized. So this go to what bro talking about right here. He say, how do you convince Negroes to fight for their freedom when they don't know they are enslaved? We are so lost we begin to believe the lies they taught us about ourselves. The music is a reflection. Exactly, because music is powerful. You got words that you are repeating over an instrumental. It's hypnotizing. People thinking they not being affected by it, but go to your regular, go to any public school right now, inner city public school, and you come back and tell me if this shit really don't got a hold on people. So he also say, why did we stop making music like we did back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s? That's a good question. So for that, to answer that, I'm going to let none other than Tupac break this down, because I want to get to the government connection between hip hop and the government. So people's Ice Cube
some
video.
stuff about the CIA. Rob, I don't know if you got the clip or not. I don't know which clip this is. We'll play one of these clips if you got it. Is this on Bill, Rob? Okay, play this clip. Maybe your position's changed, but I want to hear your thoughts. Go for it.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons.
Literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons. The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. Some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're gonna have this guy write the lyrics. We're gonna have that. You have, the record company pushing the narrative, and somewhat, some social engineering going on here to make sure those prisons stay full.
So,
yeah.
How much truth is there behind that?
I think it's a lot of truth. If you really remember, I was talking about the Black Rocks of the world and Vanguards of the world. Look how much they are invested in all these big labels and the prison industry. And, not saying that the CIA is sitting there writing rhymes, but they may have a deal with the labels and to allow certain records to get through. I mean, it's up to the label who they blow up, the whole industry. And so, I've seen records made by a committee when it's not the artist's own thought process. But that happens with a lot of records. A lot of records you got producers, you got A&R people, you got people who sit there and say, okay, this sound like it's a hit. This sound like it's gonna be great. And so it's not hard to imagine a record label, finding a kid that's talking the hardest and blowing him up to the top, because they know, some kids may be out there gonna listen and like you said, be influenced to do something because this is their favorite rapper. So, you don't see a lot of happy rappers at the top of the game, do you? No.
You know any of these names, any of these people that the CIA fed them, or somebody wrote the scripts for them, or no? I'm not looking for names. I'm wondering if
I don't know names. It's just companies who, they're not gonna let you put the record out unless they have a say in the production of the music.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like you write a book and they say, hey, you can't be critical of this guy. Take this out.
Yeah.
Or, hey, we got to talk to the lawyers about this line. We don't want to get sued by those like that. You're not saying necessarily to try to get internally to destroy a community like the African-American community.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not either. You know, I don't know what their plan is. I just know that the same people who own the labels own the prisons. And I believe, and it's a lot of evidence out there, that they make sure that the records that are put out will more than likely have a negative effect on the community and create, a prison industry or a prison community where, you got the men and women in the community going to jail often. So it happens. It's real. It's reality.
So once again, check this out. Whole bunch of black people in here, right? Where you're from today, if you are from what they consider an urban community, do you not have an influx of people that's living this street lifestyle in and out of prison that's heavily hip-hop related? Some of them may even be aspiring rappers. Look at our young aspiring rappers now. They are throwing their life away, right? Murder and drugs. This is consistent. This ain't just happening in one city, one state. This is everywhere hip-hop is involved right now. In America, this is what's going down. That ain't no coincidence, bro. You get what I'm saying? It used to be back in the day, they was just breakdancing. The worst that happened is some fist fight. The streets always existed, but it was a lower population of the people. It was not nowhere near half or the majority. You get what I'm saying? But now there are no options when it comes to popular media. This is what people don't understand. They'll rebuttal and say, nah, y'all just don't listen to such and such. You don't understand what I'm saying. Those people that you were talking about who are positive artists do not get the type of backing. Matter of fact, where they was at, she could have put them on the stage. Why the Democrats ain't choose them, right? They could have chose the representation that they wanted to go up there. There are artists they could have chose from who don't speak on the shit that they speak on. Think about this now. We got to stop making excuses for these people. But Cube, I got your back, bro. I know you ain't want to get too far into it because you putting your neck on the line, even saying what you saying. So, we do our research over here, and I came across an interesting article I want y'all to see. I put it in the chat for y'all to come read the article. Within the article, they put their source materials, but I want to give this person credit. Y'all can go do the research just like I did, but I know where to check out. If it don't, come back, holler at me. But I want to read this, and I want to prove what that boy Cube said. All right. Like I said, it's in the chat. You can read along with me if you want, but I'm going to put it on the screen. Hold on. Pull it over here to screen 3. We're going to get rocking. So it say, last year, Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prison industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. One stipulation of eligibility for the deal was particularly bizarre: an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a minimum 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. So he said, what kind of legitimate and ethical measures could possibly be taken to ensure the maintenance of a 90% prison occupancy rate? 2 months later, an anonymous email was sent out to various members of the music industry, giving an account of a meeting where it was determined that hip hop music will be manipulated to drive up privatized prison profits. Its author, despite company he himself was employed. Hold on. His author, despite claiming to be a former industry insider, did not provide the names of anyone involved in the plot, nor did he specify by which company he himself was employed. As such, the letter was largely regarded as a fraud for lack of facts. Here are the facts. PBS's Frontline has described the conglomerates that determine what information is disseminated to the public as a web of business relationships that now defines America's media and culture. Business relationships. Last year, a mere 232 media executives were responsible for the intake of 277 million Americans. controlling all the avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and incite any trend. Time Warner, as owner of Warner Bros. Records, among many other record labels, can not only sign an artist to a recording contract, but as the owner of Entertainment Weekly, can see to it that they get next week's cover. Also, the owner of New Line Cinemas, HBO, and TNT, they can have their artists cast in a leading role in a film that, when pulled from theaters, will be put into rotation first on premium, then on basic cable. Without any consideration to the music whatsoever, the artist will already be a star. Those such monopolies also extend in the radio stations and networks that air music videos. For consumers, choice is often illusory. Both BET and MTV belong to Viacom, while Hot 97, NYC's top hip-hop station, is owned by MS Communications. Online streaming is controlled by Clear Channel, who also owns rival station Power 105. So check this out real quick. Listen to what they just said they can do. They got the power to take you from being a nobody to a star. Oh, homeboy with the news, you capping. Let's use Glorilla. Glorilla was a part of the Kamala campaign, right? This lady went from being a fast food worker, no real legitimate career. Okay, anybody who know the rap game, you tell me when I start capping. Typically, to be able to get yourself noticed by mainstream, you have to have already had a track record of being independent and like you got to already be popping in your city, which means you already getting shows, which you got motion already. Glorilla went from being a nobody, got signed by Yo Gotti, and then next thing you know, her songs are everywhere to where she just recently dropped the album and it's debuting in the top. What did she get famous for? Her first song was FNF. F nigga free. You hear me? They made it famous and popular everywhere. She ain't nowhere near the only one. I just want to use a recent example that a lot of y'all would know about. They can easily do this. Same thing with Cardi B. She was on a reality TV. Next thing you know, she went from reality TV. The machine got behind her and she became a hot hit rapper. This is how they do that. Okay, so just so you know, we on the same page. So check this out. He said, none of this is exactly breaking news, which is not. But when ownership of those media conglomerates is cross-checked with ownership of the biggest names in prison privatization, interesting new facts emerge. According to public analysis from Bloomberg, the largest holder in Corrections Corporation of America is Vanguard Group Incorporated. Interestingly enough, Vanguard also holds considerable stake in the media giants determining this country's culture. In fact, Vanguard is the third largest holder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the third largest holder in the GEO Group, whose correctional detention and community reentry services boast 101 facilities, approximately 73,000 beds, and 18,000 employees. Second nationally only to Corrections Corporation of America, GEO's facilities are located not only in the United States, but in the United Kingdom, Australia, and South Africa. You may be thinking, well, Vanguard is the third largest holder in those media conglomerates, which is no guarantee that they're calling any shots. Well, the number one holder of both Viacom and Time Warner is a company called BlackRock. Now, how come they keep coming up? We just heard BlackRock from Kamala campaign. We hear BlackRock always tied to CIA operations. Okay, so we hear them tied to hip hop, private prison, also into buying up all the single family homes, creating a perfect storm. But some would say this is a conspiracy, but these people legitimately own these things. I'm just your homeboy with the news, but I'm trying to lead you to it. So it's BlackRock is the second largest holder in Corrections Corporation of America, second only to Vanguard, and the sixth largest holder in the GEO Group. There are many other startling overlaps in private prison, mass media ownership, but two underlying facts become clear very quickly. The people who own the media are the same people who own private prisons, the exact same people, and using one to promote the other is or would be, depending on your analysis, very lucrative. Such a scheme would mean some very greedy, very racist people. Okay, so this goes on to detail a lot more. Okay, and I want y'all to go read it. Oh, hold on. No. I gotta read this part. Add to this well-documented statistics proving the so-called war on drugs has been waged almost entirely on low-income communities of color. Well, up until just 2 years ago, cocaine sold in crack form fetched sentences 100 times as lengthy as the exact same amount of cocaine sold in powdered form, which is much more common in cocaine arrests in affluent communities. In July 2010, the oddly named Fair Sentencing Act was adopted, which rather than reducing the crack powder disparity from 100 to 1 to 1 to 1, reduced it to 18 to 1, which is still grossly unfair. Now, who is responsible for this? The Democratic Party. Your boy Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, all kind of Democrats who helped in the Congressional Black Caucus. Let me not leave them out. You hear what I'm saying? So these same people that are bringing the entertainers in front of you to tell you who to vote for are the same ones that have to terrorize our communities with the drugs, with the incarceration. So they playing from both sides and the whole time playing in our face. And then we buy into this and attack each other. All right. Now, this is a damn shame what's really going on. And people don't want to do the research because they too much of an idol worshiper, whether it be the black pastor, whether it be the female or the male entertainer, the ball player. We listen to their word and what they say and take it as gospel when these people are playing us. You got LeBron done teamed up with Nike to put out this racist ad, making it seem like this boy Trump finna take us to Jim Crow, bro. This is how they playing with us. So, so shout out to Kofi. He say, and then her and Cardi B are blood cousins. See, this is another thing about a lot of people being selected to make, because think about it, in our community, it's buku people with music talent. It ain't hard to find no star, bro. It ain't hard to find a black person that can sing or rap. That is easy. You can make anybody a star. We got plenty of talent. That's not really special. I can name you dozens of people who got talent to be world household names. It's easy. We do this. You know what I'm saying? But let me stay on track to what I want to do. So let's go over here, because y'all may think I'm capping, right? We got government involvement. We got major corporations doing things, but I'm just your homeboy with the news. So Candace Owens, shout out to her. She been going crazy. She been on a rampage. She actually interviewed an ex-CIA employee named Kevin Shipp. And I want y'all to hear what he had to say about how the CIA works within media to push narratives. So check this out.
A coup, essentially. Yeah. So you realize then at that point, and by the way, just to slow this down, I know people that watch this already know about Operation Mockingbird, but it is really one of the most crucial ones to understanding the mainstream media web. The CIA puts this into place and quite literally just puts journalists on the CIA payroll to be able to control the information that's getting out to the public after JFK gets shot. They're worried about what's going to happen. The public is asking too many questions, so they just want journalists to all say the exact same thing. And we still see this today. There was no discontinuation of Project Mockingbird. So you make the mistake of going, there must be a noble media member at the Washington Post.
That was all in the past. It doesn't continue today. Well,
and what year is this, by the way?
What's that?
What year is this that you're dealing with?
Let's see, that would be 2012.
Okay.
And then that's when I wrote From the Company Shadows.
Yeah, shout out to Candace Owens. She's been standing on business when a lot of y'all are afraid to speak y'all opinion because y'all don't want to be ostracized. So y'all some suckers hating in the comments, man. So you can't hate this lady for going out here and going against the grain. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all don't got the courage to do it. Who be hating.
So and then I started experiencing firsthand other major publishers when I wrote From the Company of Shadows. No, we can't touch that. We don't want to make the CIA mad. And the CIA had threatened a lot of journalists and a lot of publishers. Don't touch anything against the CIA. So they were all terrified. And plus, the editors of the Washington Post is one of the founders of Mockingbird. Philip and Catherine
New York
Grant.
Times.
What's that?
One of the highest paid.
New York Times, yes. Time Magazine. They had more than 400 reporters and news anchors on CIA payroll when Operation Mockingbird started. And now they operate two ways. A journalist with any major news media or news periodical knows that if they do a real investigative piece on the CIA, they're done. I mean, their editors tell them that many editors have a quid pro quo with the CIA, not to report negatively on the CIA. And there's some major news organizations that people watch that have that relationship. And so if they say anything negative about the CIA will stop feeding them stories so that they can get the first scoop and cut them off. And that's going on right now with several well-known news organizations. As I mentioned, the one with the CIA lapel pin. Clearly going on. Then this last administration, thank God, which is out the back door, started what's called the Trusted News Initiative, where the CIA signed an agreement, or the Associated Press, the Washington Post, of course, and all 4 social media companies in the Trusted News Initiative signed an agreement with the DNI and the CIA not to censor certain pieces of information on all social media and in their reporting. Literally signed an agreement not to do that. Now, when you sign a CIA agreement, especially if there's money involved, they'll put you under a non-disclosure agreement with a threat of prison if you talk about anything you're not supposed to talk about. And that's how the CIA controls journalists. That's why there are no whistleblowers until recently, because of the NDA. You come out and you talk about this, you're going to prison. You sign a secrecy agreement as an officer, never to put anything out without the CIA approving it, which means they'll redact or black out the entire thing, which they did in my first book. And sit on it for a year or two. That's what they do every single time. And some of that's in the book.
It's really compelling to consider that you did what you thought was an act of service, trying to rescue the lives of other CIA servicemen. Report this, hey, this must be by accident.
So I want y'all to go, because we know we ain't trying to get no strike and nothing. Shout out to you, Candace. I hope you let me use that few little minutes. But y'all go to her page, go to her channel if you want to check out the whole interview. It was dope. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it was breaking down his exact scenario, what his roles were, the jobs that he did, and basically flat out telling you what is possible. He couldn't just go and obviously tell all the things that he was a part of, but he told you his job title, the things that he was responsible for, and the different departments that he worked within. All right, painting you a very clear picture. But you know, some of our audience that y'all already rock with us, y'all know this, but for those of y'all who don't, they mentioned Operation Mockingbird. So we gonna always make sure that we touch this whenever it come up, because this is a legitimate fact. So when you bring this back up on screen 3, we're gonna read this real quick. So it say Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency that began in the early years of the Cold War and attempted to manipulate domestic American news media organizations for propaganda purposes. According to author Deborah Davis, Operation Mockingbird recruited leading American journalists into a propaganda network and influenced the operations of front groups. CIA supporter front groups was exposed when an April 1967 Ramparts article reported that the National Student Association received funding from the CIA. In 1975, Church Committee congressional investigations revealed agency connections with journalists and civic groups. In 1973, a document referred to as the Family Jewels was published by the CIA, containing a reference to a different operation named Project Mockingbird, which was the name of an operation in 1963, which wiretapped 2 syndicated columnists, Robert Allen and Paul Scott, from March 12 to June 15, 1963. They had published articles based on classified material. The document does not contain references to Operation Mockingbird. So what is all this saying? It's telling you that there was a program that was talked about within the media, within government, that journalists were being recruited to the CIA. What I'm saying to you is, after watching his interview and making my own assumptions based on research, that instead of recruiting them, they started creating the journalists and sending them to work at these different publications that they already own and got agreements with. This is how you get this fake news, or you get situations like the pandemic where they run crazy with the media, or how certain news stories don't get covered the way they should because it's in control by the government. This ain't no conspiracy theory. These are just facts. There's only certain groups that own all the media. How is that possible in a free market capitalistic system? There's plenty of people with money. Why they don't want to go compete and open their own media? But now you have that going on because of social media. But what happened? They made an agreement, the Biden administration, to silence the public networks to try to make sure that these new networks can't grow. It's a game being played, man. We got people right now. Our little channel. We ain't got no big channel. We go through this every day. The videos can't get monetized. We get copyright strikes for things that's not even, it doesn't even make sense to have a copyright strike on. This happens on the daily. Go talk to any of your favorite content creators who talk about things that are off the forbidden path. It just is what it is, man. You ain't got to take my word for it. Pay attention to what you see with your own eyes. But that's Operation Mockingbird, right? So I want to leave y'all with one last thing. So we see all that. So let's bring up Buddy Suge Knight. He just had a recent interview talking about the same thing. So we're going to drill this home. Several different people. Everybody can't be lying. The sources, everything that we see. Oh, yeah. Shout out. Good point. The government is trying to shut down TikTok. Why would the government be mad with TikTok? It don't make no sense. They ain't hurt nobody. But the problem is they are connecting people around the world to get information real time, unfiltered, uncensored. Same reason why they don't like X. All right. Peace to you, quick. Shout out to you. So let's play this Suge Knight real quick. Hold on.
My own question, how does it go on for so long? You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
But he was might not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. It's the reason why
He talking about Puffy.
these type of people get caught up. They always been feeling they bigger than the law because they part of the law. You know? And as you know, all these people get tired of their rats sooner or later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know that. You can't, it's one thing, when I first got to Sheridan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I come from the state where we be on, we don't fuck with the police, we don't talk to police, and they trying to talk to us, we cuss them out. So I get to Sheridan, and his black officer kept trying to speak to me. And I went to speak to him. He said, man, why you don't never speak to me? I said, man, I don't know who you deal with over here. We don't have no conversation with the mother police, you the police. So one day he said, man, I just want to say words to you, one black man to another. All right. He said, this night, they want you and they continue to want you. He said, the FBI, the government is so advanced, they can have planes that you can't see, but can read your license plate. They say most of the people you want to talk to, your guys, shit, probably wearing a wire. And I didn't say nothing then, I thought about it. And then as life went on, everything is cameras, everything is conversation. For a guy, a part of a certain world, and you never go to jail, and you never go to prison, it's impossible.
In your opinion or knowledge, how long was he an informant?
I think probably since the 90s.
Wow.
We had a conversation before, and if look at the things he was able to do. You were able to do all these things, nothing happened. His friend, one of his partners, they got convicted for selling drugs for the company. Nothing never happened to him. And he got Obama to give him a appointment with no problem at all. I can go.
Y'all heard what he just said? Suge Knight is saying that Obama gave Diddy partner a pardon off a life sentence for selling drugs.
To Obama and say, hey, my childhood friend is in prison for life, let him go. It would never happen.
That's for sure. And that did happen with Puffy.
We wouldn't be having. Yeah. 1,000%.
You think Obama had anything to do with any of these parties that he had?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You got presidents, you got preachers. T.D. Jakes is one of the biggest black preachers around that everybody loves. Everybody in prison, if they try to get the word of religion, they're not going to the chapel somewhere. They're turning to watch T.D. Jakes. He had to resign from his whole community.
That's right.
You talking about the top of the top.
Unbelievable. Man, you know, I mean, I got a lot of questions with this guy, but you know, you answered the first one. How do you get away with something like this for all this time with all these people that are allegedly involved? You know, I want to tell you this. I was in the same tier, the same cell that Epstein was on. And Suge, there's no way in hell that guy could have committed suicide on that tier. I was in there for 7 months. There's no way.
And coming from you, I know you didn't know the truth. And I personally didn't think he was going to commit suicide. But the thing is, he had from Oprah Winfrey to everybody on that island. You know, anybody with a weird fetish, and that's what underage kids, was on that island. And everybody knew it. So it's not like it's a situation where all of a sudden, maybe, there's been a talk. And you know as well as I know, like you being on the same tier as him, he probably was going to tell it all. He helped himself, you know?
No doubt. No doubt in my mind at all.
They made sure he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way he could have done it. You know, first of all, they're watching all the time. There's cameras, and just so happens that one particular time there's no cameras and no one monitoring that. I had eyes on me 24/7 when I was there. So, I mean, I knew it was impossible.
Always.
Yeah.
You didn't have that one time to yourself.
Nothing
You're
at all.
always watching yourself.
So
always. No, yeah.
Let me ask you this.
So check this out. I wanted to leave it there, all right, because I wanted you to hear a couple things. The first one is he talked about Diddy being an informant. And it's been said several different times. Gene Deal has been one of the first ones that talked about it. But I want y'all to think about it. Let's put some context clues together. So if you go and watch that Candace Owens video with the white guy Kevin Shipp, the ex-CIA officer, he flat out says that Epstein is CIA and Mossad. Okay. So what was Epstein known for? The parties. So Epstein had all this money out of nowhere. He just was super rich, could loan everybody all the bread, but then he was known for these parties as well. Okay. So then you got Diddy, got all of this money from the labels. All of a sudden, they chose him, one of the youngest executives of his time. They didn't have young executives when Puffy came up. He got super funded out of nowhere. What is he known for? All the parties. Epstein get locked up. Plenty of people been locked up, so it ain't many places you can go that a regular American ain't been. That video I just showed you, that's Mike Frank Kessie, ex-mafia mob boss. So he was locked up at the place that Epstein deleted himself, supposedly. He said that this facility, 24/7 security and lockdown. How were you able to pull this off? But if you are CIA, your people could definitely come and make something happen because this is what they do. And just because you hear one agency doesn't mean they don't work with others. There's plenty of situations like that. So, oh yeah, shout out to you. Kofi said Kanye said it too. Remember, Kanye said that Diddy got handlers, he the feds. I mean, you know, he came out and said this, and what started happening to him? Ostracized his career. So we were just talking about Suge Knight. Suge Knight was one of the first people blamed for Tupac death, but it never made no sense what they were saying, because who set up a hit for the car to shoot at you while you in it too? That is not how that works. You get what I'm saying? He would know more than enough about Tupac to have a drop on him and send in a hit on him. That would be light work. That's just common sense. Suge is the label manager. He would know what Tupac be. He didn't have to send the shooters at him while he in the car with him. That never made no sense to me. But then ever since that happened, Suge Knight's career and everything went downhill. So it seemed like anybody who speak out about these things, they just all of a sudden get a whole bunch of criminal misfortune coming their way when they once was on top of the world. So my initial question that I was posing in this news segment was, Is idol worship and destroying the black community? Without a shadow of a doubt, the answer is yes. And they have a lot of assistance from the powers that be. It's not because these artists came up with this plan. They're just playing their role and participate. Some willingly, some unwillingly. I leave that up to you to decide. But at the end of the day, this election was another episode showing us how we are being controlled and manipulated by the powers that be. And until we got enough courage to be leaders and stand out against it, for the men out there, I know it may be hard to not, you ain't want to stand with Kamala. I got people calling me saying, man, I got my old lady mad at me. Folks don't want to talk to me no more. It's real crazy. But I'm going to tell you like this. Being a leader means you ain't going to always be liked. Fuck them. If they don't understand now, maybe they'll understand later. But at the end of the day, you know you can rest upon the fact that your conscience and your morality is intact because you know better, and you just not finna go and do something that's against your best interest to fit in. We too old for that, bro. That's for kids. But you know, I'm just your homeboy with the news doing what I do, speaking from an autonomous perspective. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. Send this message to everybody y'all know. You know, we are doing this in the effort of free media and trying to preserve and create thought, bro, to where we can think independently, not just with the people feeding us, man. Hey, but that's my time for today, y'all. Like I say, I appreciate it. Y'all keep it positive. Y'all keep it pushing. For me, I'm gone.
Niggas, the top 5 lister, double S drifter, separate sipping, and you know I came with it. If she cute with it, so it's
start to feel alone. I just play your voice loud. Then I say before things change. Now I read the message you sent, trying to